think I might be live. Okay, so yes, I think I am. Yes, okay. So, welcome. Today, I am talking about celibacy and self worth. I had someone inbox me on my business page and ask me if I could share more about my celibacy journey. I think it came from maybe a post that I did a week or two ago. And so anyway, I wanted to I told her that I would make a video just sharing because she didn't have a specific question. So she was like, I just want to know about your journey. So I just want to share my journey, and I hope that you get what you need out of me sharing. So first of all, I'm Essence Turner. I'm a spiritual life coach, and I guide women to break through heavy, stuck emotions, embrace self-love, and embody your most abundant self. Okay, so if you need help with any of that, I am here. All right, so let's dive right in. I think first, let's just get on the same page about celibacy. And so at that time, I defined it as abstaining from sex with another person until I was in a loving, committed relationship. So I made a very conscious decision, what I call shut down the candy shop. so, and that decision came from I started kind of understanding like what creates your reality and how your thoughts and feelings and emotions and beliefs about yourself create your reality. And so at that time, I was creating a reality where I was dating guys who were, liars and cheaters and unavailable and yeah. So just basically not the vision, not good for me at all. And so I began to understand that it must be something going on within me that keeps attracting these same types of guys. I mean, even my very first boyfriend in high school, I found out he had a girlfriend and that he was seeing someone else. So it's like that pattern started at a very young age. I didn't really get it then, but just like looking back and reflecting, it started at the very beginning. So that was like my why. I understood why I kept attracting those types of relationships. And I understood that my self-worth played a part in it. And so I didn't really know that I had low self-worth, but then when I started looking at everything, I knew that I didn't believe that I was lovable. Like down in the core of who I am, I just didn't believe that I was lovable. And that came from abandonment issues with my dad not raising me. And so, of course, if you believe that you're unlovable, it's like highly unlikely you're going to attract someone who's going to really love you and not in the way that especially not in the way that you really deserve to be loved. Okay, so I decided to do this journey for a few different reasons. The main reason is so that I could learn to love myself, so that I could heal my father wounds, and so that I could increase my self-worth. And so not everybody chooses to be celibate while they do their inner work, but what I was able to see is that the way a guy treated me or responded to me, let's say, or not respond, right? Like don't call or stand you up, right? We generally will make that mean something about us. And I do want to say that everything that I'm saying still applies if you're a man who dates women or a woman who dates women, a man who dates men. Like this all goes back to like just universal truth is that we tend to attract what we believe about ourselves. Okay. So if this guy is not giving me back the attention that I'm giving to him, then I'm making that mean something about me. Like I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy, there must be something wrong with me. So since I didn't really know, I didn't have the tools to separate that his actions and what he's doing doesn't have anything to do with me. I didn't know that then. So I've made it all mean something about me. So I chose to go on that journey of celibacy to just be with me, just be in my own energy. That way I don't have to deal with anybody else's words or actions or lack thereof. I didn't want to deal with any of it. I just wanted to be in my own energy and me be the only person that I'm concerned about being good to me. So I got notes here. I just want to make sure that I stay on track because I can ramble. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So on track. So yeah, so that was the decision. That's why I made that decision for me. Is because again, I just wanted to be in my own energy. And so I was seeing a guy, like it was an off and on thing, been off and on for years. And even when we were on, he still wasn't like my guy. It just meant like we were dealing with each other. And then we'd go for a couple months where we wouldn't be. You guys probably know that whole off and on thing. So I just came to this place where I'm like, that doesn't work for me anymore. This is not what I want. This is what keeps happening over and over again. So I just let him know, like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm about to go on the celibacy journey and just be to me. And so by him knowing me for like 10 years, he just kind of thought it was like a joke, like, yeah, right. And so there would be times where he would call, like, I got some Grey Goose and, you want some company. And I'm like, no. Because also during that time, I decided to stop drinking because I knew drinking was also one of the triggers that, would make me want to have company. So I stopped that too. And this was just a time of really taking care of me and learning to get to know me, learning to get to learning to love me. Like this was the love my own self journey and not needing anyone else to love me, not needing anyone else to keep me company. Like me just learning to fulfill all of my own needs to be whole, because I outsourced that to people. Like I needed them to love me and say these things in order for me to feel like whole and complete, and for me to feel like I was taken care of. And so I wanted to be able to give all of that to me. That way, when I went into my committed, healthy relationship, that I would be going in from this place of wholeness and me being my own provider and not needing anything else from that other person except for love. Like just giving and receiving pure love. That was my intention to the universe. Like I just want to attract someone and all we're doing is giving each other, like giving and receiving pure love. That's all I wanted, because before my intentions were never really good. It was like I wanted somebody to take care of me. I wanted somebody to, make me happy. I wanted somebody to fill in the blank. So I wanted to remove that and learn to give all that to myself. And so that I just was bringing more to the table in my relationship. I didn't want to come from a needy place. And I also didn't want to attract someone who just needed me and wanted me for that one thing, like, my body, right? So I wanted my intentions to be pure and their intentions to be pure. So it ended up being about 18 months that I was celibate. And like there were no, nobody spent the night or anything like that. It was just me being to me. And then I really felt like I'd gotten to this place. I'd done a lot of healing, a lot of self-love work, gotten to this place of forgiveness with my dad. And then I felt like I was ready to be like open my heart to a relationship. So I started my manifestation rituals and I really had this certainty that my relationship was coming. Like I'd become the woman who was now worthy of this loving, committed, healthy relationship. Like I just felt that click on the inside, and I just knew it, and I knew when I was ready. And I also knew I had become the woman to uphold the boundary of we're not having sex until we're in a committed relationship. So I started doing my manifestation mojo stuff, and then the guy came and the relationship started to blossom. And then that time for the conversation came, and he was like, oh, I mean, I have sex with all my women friends. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm like, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just not going to be a part of that. And, I'm not trying to manipulate you or anything like that, but this is just basically like my boundary, and I'm not crossing that. So some of you might have saw my video where I talked about my relationship started off on a 3-month commitment. And like that is where that was born, where we decided, I just proposed, well, if you do want to be in a relationship with me, or like give this a go, we need, like, let's just be committed to each other for 3 months to see where this goes, like if we really do have a chance. If you want to see where this, if you want to be in a relationship with me and you're just not quite sure, like this is like our test run. And I was also like, I wasn't 100% sure that he was worthy of me. So it's like this was just like a trial run period, but at least in this like incubator of time, we're just committed to each other. Okay, that has now turned into 7 years that we've been together. Okay. So that is how my celibacy journey looked from the beginning all the way until the end. And so I did make a couple little notes that I wanted to just, there's no rules, but this commitment is for you. Like this is a commitment for you and to you. It is sacred. Nobody gets to like put their 2 cents in and say, well, are you sure? And just create doubt. Like you have to create that commitment and certainty within you, and then once you're strong and steadfast in that, then you could tell other people. But people have a lot of opinions around this, and their own stuff around whether they can basically keep it in their pants or not. And if they can't, then they are going to project that onto you. So even be very selective with who you tell. You might even want to just keep it to yourself for 30 days and then tell them, I'm already 30 days in, boo. I don't need your opinion. Uh, this is not to manipulate other people. So this was never about manipulating to try to get a guy to do what I want him to do. No, so it's not about manipulation. This was all about commitment to me and my growth and my healing and getting what I wanted, which was to be in a committed relationship. Otherwise, the guy, just like that more dominant one, will get what they want. And no more. I was like, no more. Again, there were no sleepovers, no temptations, just hanging out, and let's just, see, like, it should be all good if we're cuddled up on the couch and just eating popcorn. Like, no, I didn't do any of that. I didn't trust myself. I didn't want to, like, walk that fine line. It was just, no thanks. The first 90 days could possibly be the hardest. I had originally gone 6 months before after a heartbreak. So I knew that I could at least make it that long. And that was very unintentional. I just was at this place where I was like, F dudes. And I just did not want to be touched. So I already knew that I could go 6 months. But I was just committed to like however freaking long it took. And don't break your boundary for anyone else but you. So if you do end up doing it, let it be because you want to, not because of the pressure of someone else or feeling like if we do, then this is going to bring us closer. None of that stuff we tell ourselves, but it still in the end doesn't really work. Like, if I a lot of times we'll think like if I have sex with a guy, the guy, it'll bring us closer. It'll make him like me more. Once I put it on him, he won't leave and all that crap that hadn't worked in the past. So it's like being willing to look at what hasn't worked and letting that go and like creating this new path, being this new woman, being committed to you. But again, this is a commitment you have to make for yourself. It's a commitment that has to feel good for you. And yeah, don't do it because I did it. Don't do it because you think you should. It has to really come from your heart. and be a soul-centered decision, or else you'll cave. Okay. So if this is something you're considering, like the young woman who messaged me, just really get clear on your why, and don't start until you're 100% in and ready to be committed to yourself. And this is not, you don't do it to like pay somebody back or to try to manipulate somebody to settle down with you or anything like that. All comes from love and soul and self-care. Yeah. All right. So if you have any questions about celibacy, self-love, healing, all of the things, feel free to message me. This was really fun. I love sharing and telling my stories. And yeah, I am here if you need. So I will talk to you later.